This is my morning spiel. I'm going to sit in a chair just below you and I'm going to start talking. Hopefully the mic will pick it up. But I'm going to try to, before I sit down, give you a quick tutoring on the 6th hole here at Sundance Active Adult out here in Buckeye. Great golf course. Long, narrow, grip and rip golf course. Classic. It's almost like a links course. Because when it first opened 15, 16 years ago, they didn't have half the care that it gets now. It didn't get any water. It didn't get any, there wasn't a lot of trimming. It was just a roughed out desert course. And if you got a bad lie, you got a bad lie. If you got on the green was all bumpy and lumpy and breaks around the hole, you dealt with it. I mean, that's links golf. But over the last 15 years, and there was nobody here. That's another thing. What made it so links golf was desert links is there was nothing here. You had the 7th hole was where the models was, so on the south side of the 7th hole, and on the north of the 6th hole, this hole was absolutely nothing. It was 13 acres and just an empty blank with sidewalks and streets going in it when I saw it the first time. But I'll scale. These, I was told the first day, the realtor told me, the man who was working in the office. I came out here with a friend. He was determined that I was going to get a good deal, and I'm always looking for a good deal. I'm trying to get my money's worth on anything I buy. It's an East Coast thing, all right? You shop around, do due diligence, and hopefully you get a good deal. But I'll do a scan here. Right up here, where you see that banister or those piping guardrail, that's the end of an underground pipe that starts 250 feet away up here in this neighborhood, and it has probably, I would say, at least a 7 to 10 foot drop. It's the longest it's the longest drain, access easement, emergency ingress and egress, all the other golf cart access, pedestrian access. Well, I got kind of lost there, but that's the end of an underground pipe. And per standard, in MAG standards, whatever MAG stands for, it's a standard for urban living as far as civil engineering goes. It's like the Bible for civil engineering. Well, in the MAG civil engineering and the way it was originally designed, it had to meet a certain standard. Why this, what you're looking at right now doesn't meet a civil engineering standard that is valley-wide in any urban city is there's no open water channel following the pipe to the lake. You have to understand that the lake is the ultimate retention. And in all the manuals, in both Maricopa, I think, and I know in the Buckeye manual, it says there are not to be any intermediate retention basins between the ultimate one and where the water starts. What you're looking at right now is a plug. That pipe and those railings are not supposed to be there. That tee box is not supposed to be there. And here the ladies come. Now the ladies are going to tee off. I'll let this go. I'll just sit and watch, and you'll probably see them have comment. It's a security camera. I have people walking on my property all day. You see where those tee boxes are? Okay, try to imagine 4 young golfers that have never touched the golf club in their life before, and they all hit 5 balls from out there, and they all go in my yard. I deal with it day in and day out. Alright, if they break my window, I go to the golf shop and they go, "You bought a house on a golf course." This is assault, day in and day out. Alright, try to imagine a young group of people who have never played golf and they've got a bag full of balls. Alright, that's why it's here. You want me to make a YouTube video about it? I will. Well, that little dialogue that took place right there was the golfers are very aware of this camera, just like I'm very aware of having that tee box right back there stuck in my face every day. Okay, now you don't see it, or the golf shop, or the police department, or the mayor's office, or Craig Hustis, none of you people or my neighbors see the fact that day in and day out they're assigning risks to my property. Alright, you see where that green box is over there? They keep it over there now. That's an anchor point for the other 2 things right here. And the first golfers come in the morning, and wherever they want to put that, the mowers go through and put all the rocks, markers back there where the anchor is. That anchor for about a month was over here on the other side. Gave me a little relief. Now they're going to assign the risk to my property all day long. There used to be a thing in insurance when I was a kid back in New York. In New York, you couldn't drive without insurance. You couldn't get when I was 16, this was like 1966, 65, you couldn't get a set of plates for your car from New York without proof of insurance. And if you were a young person, you usually got the insurance company got your name and they assigned you to that insurance company as assigned risk. Okay? And that insurance company could charge you as much as you wanted, but they had to give you insurance. And you usually paid a lot for it. This is assigned risk right now. Okay? From this date on, from today, right now, this minute, this hour, for the rest of the day, thank God it's in the summer. If this was February, we'd have a steady diet of all day long. A steady diet of 4 or 5 golf carts parked on that golf cart path all day long, waiting to hit their shot. This will be a bottleneck. This will be a bottleneck hole because it's a par 3 and you've made it difficult. Okay? Now, why I'm talking about assigned risk is here's where I am. Another thing. You see that cactus? There's an imaginary line where that cactus and that white stake are. Okay? That imaginary line goes down to another white stake that's right on the property line of everybody's property. That white stake indicates golf course. On the right side of the golf course or on the south side of this golf course, where that green cactus is, that's my private property. My private property. You understand? Private property. Which shouldn't be burdened with golfers hitting from that location all day. You have to understand, I'm getting a pretty good catalog of golf swings. I take catalogs all day, and what I'm really concerned about is like you collect one greens fee from one golfer a young man who's got a bag of balls. All right? He really doesn't. He's not out here for score. He's out here for the warm and fuzzy, the oohs and ahs. He'll hit 7 balls from back in that corner until he gets one that hits the green just the way he wants. Hasn't got a clue. If you put him on the driving range, maybe 2 out of 10 balls, 1 out of 5 balls, he's going to hit halfway decent where he wants. And then he comes out here and he gets on this hole right here. I'm probably less than 40 yards from that tee where he's teeing off, and I'm just off to the right. Just off to the right and 40 yards away. And the golf course goes right up to my property line. You see that white stake? Now, let's follow my property line. You see those green plants right there? That's my property line. That's my barrier. Let me look up a little bit. Oh, this tree hasn't been trimmed in about 3 years. It's totally wild. They're letting it go because it ruins my view. We're not going to do anything that increases the value of his property. He's trying to sell his property up there, and we could probably trim that and give him a nice view, but we're not going to. Plus, that tree all bushed out like that protects, excuse me, I hit the thing, the tripod, protects another house down there. All right? It'll protect those houses. We don't care about his view. We'll put that tree there to ruin his view and protect his neighbors that are further down. All right? It hasn't been trimmed forever. Forever. Here's another tree that we're probably going to lose in the next monsoon. It's all top heavy. Can you see? They're running a top sail. They got the main sail up and full sail, and we got the monsoon coming. So there's a good chance that that tree will be snapped in half here within a month or a month and a half, because they haven't come up here and trimmed it. All right? They won't trim it. It's all leafed out, full sail. You got to trim it back. What you got to do is trim it back to where it's a skeleton. The same with this. I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but I've got no view as long as that never gets trimmed. Okay, so here we are. This is the only body of water on the golf course. The first day I saw these lots, 16 years ago, 15 and a half years ago, 16 years ago, 16 and a half, there was nothing here. This was Field of Dreams. The only thing that was here was a golf course, Watson Road, and the models. That was it. And a clubhouse. Okay? That's the green. That's the lake. Our new hotel. The place is booming. The place is just booming. Traffic everywhere. Accidents everywhere. The people who live out here in Buckeye and lived out here all their life, they've never seen anything like this. Okay? Alright. Now, back to the tee. Here we are. Now, try to imagine. Well, you don't have to imagine. The camera will tell you. Hopefully, if I get some good video today, you'll see the most novice, amateur, non-professional golfers in all of the West Valley, maybe the whole Valley of the Sun, trying to hit balls, and I'm only 30 feet away, 30 yards away. I'm only 30 yards away and just off line. So any brain fart this guy has from the top of the backswing to impact, which happens all the time, you know it, I know it, any pro would know that. Any pro knows that most people that are right-handed miss right. Okay? So, I'm going to keep the camera right here. I'm going to sit down, keep talking. I might talk about but this is why I'm here with a camera. Because the first thing that happens, especially with young people and novice, they're out here with an old guy. An old guy won't walk onto your property. Or maybe he's had an occasion with a person, a member, a resident member who lives on the course. This is human chafing to me. I'd like to be able to sit out here and read a book or do computer work or play on my cell phone, whatever, and use my property right up to my property line, like they're using their property right up to my property line for their golf course. If they're going to let people walk right up to my property line, then I should be able to sit out here. I'm not going to hide in the house because there's golfers out here and I might get hit. All right? But you're assigning this risk to me. All right? You could put this tee box over there. You could put it back there to where they all have a lake shot. Give this course some class. You want to give this course some class? Make sure on its par 3 lake shot. Everybody, the women, everybody get a lake shot over this lake. Give the place some class and move all that. You could take all this tee box arrangement to the other side of that harbor. You see right there? You could start from there and step down and everything would be across the lake. A mandatory lake shot when you come to play Sundance. If you don't want to put one in the water, stay away. Now what I'm going to try to get across to anybody in this film and this video is we're not dealing with professionals. We're doing rocking horse pivots where they're rocking back on their back leg. They're not staying forward and down and hitting down into the ball and trying to hit the ball into the ground and cover the ball. These guys are trying to lift it off the tee. They're rocking back and forth. They're turning out their grips. They don't know a strong grip from a weak grip. They don't know an inside from an outside. They're lifting up. They're pulling their heads up. This is going on all day, and I have to deal with the trash. I have to deal with this is fallout. This is chafing. Why should I have to deal with a kid walking into my yard or get up in the morning and see a kid on my patio turning my chairs over looking for his golf ball? And he comes up with the perfect answer. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just looking for my golf ball. Is that proper golf etiquette? Is that what you're teaching these young people out in the West Valley, how to play golf? You hit it in somebody's yard, you lost it. Admit it. You're a shitty golfer. Go to the range, learn how to hit the ball. Stay out of my yard. You don't belong up here. Now I'll tell you, those white stakes right here, I'll give you a close-up on them. These white stakes don't belong. Where are they? Right there. You see that white stake? That's right on my property line. That means the golf course is telling every golfer that can possibly what can go wrong will go wrong. If you put a novice golfer back there on that corner, doesn't know what he's doing, and he hits more than one ball because he doesn't know what he's doing. I see it all the time. You get one round of golf, you get one greens fee, and I put up with him hitting 4 balls, and every ball he hits is a probability that I'm going to either have a window broken, a solar panel broken, or I'm going to have human chafing when this guy tries to walk onto my lot. If I'm here, I'm going to definitely tell him to stop. Get off my lot, you don't belong up here. But everybody who plays here, who's played here for the last 15 years, believes that this is protocol. This is tribal knowledge. This is how we play Sundance. Those yards up there, all them yards, since the day it was open, anybody can walk in anybody's yard for anybody's golf ball anytime they want. All right? And you can put as much risk on me as you want. Now, I'm dealing with risk all day. If this was the summer where you or the winter where you sold 250 rounds, and half of them were young people and half of them were old guys, everybody's going to hit. You're going to have every foursome that's going to hit 6 or 7 shots out of every foursome. And every one of those shots, I'm in play. I play golf here every day. I sit here and pray when I see a kid wild-ass swing up there, doesn't have a clue, or staring at the ball for 15 minutes. He can't pull the trigger. He's frozen. He's got a million things going on in his mind. You know, don't do this, keep your left arm straight, keep your head down, right? He's so confused he don't know what he's doing. He's trying to do a mathematical equation. He's got a golf club in his hand. It don't work. And when he flies one up in my yard, I get really pissed when the guy he's playing with tells him, go up and get your ball. They see it go onto my patio. He stops his golf cart, or he pulls his golf cart up to this white stake, and he tells the guy, walk across these bushes and go get your ball on his patio. It happens every day. This ain't golf. This is a friggin' cattle drive. This group that goes by in the morning, I equate them to Special Forces, Army Rangers, Marine Recon, Green Beret, as far as their experience on a golf course. What you just saw is three guys that all hit pretty good shots. They played a lot of golf. They're all middle-aged or higher. They're members of the community, so they're at least 55. They've all probably been playing golf 30, 35 years. You will never see these people go over to the longer tees. They play the silver tees all the time. They're trying to protect their handicap, and they finally gotten to the point where they're playing target golf. Okay, these guys can hit a target. I don't worry about these guys. Occasionally though, like the 10%, you get that 10%, no matter how seasoned, professional, and experienced these guys are, every once in a while, they have what I call a brain fart from the top of the swing, and some of these guys don't even have a top of the swing. The top of the swing for them is about 9:30. They take the club back to 9:30 and then throw their hands and clubs at the ball, and who knows where it's going to go. But those three guys, and all morning long, for the most part, maybe 1 out of 10 won't know what they're doing. But for the most part, you're going to see seasoned golfers. And another thing you look for is that they're driving their own golf cart. If they have their own golf cart, they live here on the course or in a neighborhood around the course, and they have access to the course. So they play the course all the time. This is their course. And this happens on the weekday mornings. On the weekday mornings you have mostly the men's club or seasoned custom carts going through. One guy in his own cart. They go through every morning. It's like a drill doing calisthenics. God bless them. Physically, I can't do it anymore. If anybody questions why I don't play golf, I played for a lot of years, and I never took a lesson. I never took a lesson. Tried to learn the swing from the book, monkey see, monkey do swings, and I hit a lot of bad shots. And some people are natural ball strikers. I never was. So for me, if I was going to have a weekend of golf with somebody and I knew I was going to play Saturday morning with a group, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I went to the range. Competitive. I didn't have anything better to do. Cheap way to be entertained. So I'd go to the range and I'd work on my game. Well, I wore out my left hip. It's shot. If I do any practice golf, if I hit practice balls on the patio and I hit 30 of them that night when I go to bed, I can feel it in my hip. All right. So that's why I don't play. But what I'm trying to get across to you is the whole time I played, I hit bad shots. No matter how much I practice, and I've seen bad shots hit. You wouldn't believe the crazy stuff that I've seen happen on a tee box. Anybody that's been around golf has similar stories of freak accidents, freak things happen, freak how the guy hit the ball, it went freaky. Well, you're assigning all that freak show, that circus, And all the errors that are to the right, you got predominantly 9 out of 10 of your golfers are right-handed. 9 out of 10 of your golfers are don't know how to cover the ball. They don't know how to hit down and through the ball and stay down and through the ball. They're all trying to lift it with their club. They tee it high and they get up there in this rocking chair motion and they end up pivoting on their back leg instead of, because physically they can't swing it anymore. Well, it's bad enough that you have someone up there trying to hit that shot from that location. There's no policing. You're leaving the policing of my risk to the golfers. Every individual golfer has to come up to this tee box, and the golfers aren't aware of that. They're not aware of risk factors for private homes. We don't care. You see anything on that card that says we have to pay for anything? No. We're not responsible. So if that guy's sitting up there, if he wants to be crazy enough to sit up on that corner all day, he might get hit. Or there's a good chance his windows are going to get hit and he's going to deal with trespassing all day long. Because the people, like I said earlier, who have been playing here for 15 years, this has been a cattle drive for them. 15 years ago, before this house was built, if they hit a ball up here or across the street to the house, a lot across the street, they just drove their car up here across the lot, across the street, across all these empty lots and got their ball. That mindset, protocol, tribal knowledge, doctrine, whatever you want to call it, is prevalent here. And I can't get any civil authority to understand the risk that I am under on a daily basis dealing with having a tee box so close in proximity to my private property, my habitat. I pay dues, I pay taxes on these lots, and I'm getting no protection. When I have a policeman come out and admit to me I wouldn't live here, and I wouldn't raise children, more or less, to have children out here, or a pet, or anything. If I have visitors, a lot of the visitors are already freaked out to think that, Jesus, a lot of them are already aware. They have that fear factor right off. As soon as you bring them out here, they go, you ever get hit by golf balls? All the time. And they don't want to sit out here. All right, they don't want to be out here because they're afraid, and every time that somebody gets on the tee box. Then you have others that are totally ignorant to it. They're totally ignorant to the risk. And those are the people that now I'm responsible for. If they come out and visit and they go, I'm going to sit out there, or I want to go sit in the swing, or I want to be outside, it's a beautiful day, or we're having a lunch out on the patio. At any time, a golf ball can fly in. At any time. What can happen will happen. What can happen will happen. And it can happen. From every tee box on the 6th hole, I'm in range. I'm down range and in range from every tee box on the 6th hole. All right? And I'm thrown to the mercy of the knowledge, wisdom, arrogance, ego of the golfers who decide, I've got the game to hit the shot. They don't have the game to hit that shot. They hit it once on the range. In 20 balls, they hit that shot once. So now they've got the shot, they can reproduce it. And they put themselves on one of these long tee boxes and swing for the fence. This isn't target golf. This is grip and rip. Home run golf. Instead of hitting a little blooper over center field and advancing the ball, the runner, and driving in the winning run, no, this guy's going up there with one thought. Hit the home run. All you got to do is make contact, advance the runner. We've won the game. That type of attitude is not prevalent in golf anymore. And the worst thing for golf is TV. I see these guys on the green, I see these guys out here, take forever to hit the ball. And then they hit 2 or 3 balls. It's bad enough you're putting somebody back there that don't know what they're doing, but then they let that person hit 3 or 4 balls. You got 1 round of golf out of him, and I got 4 rounds of risk. I got 4 rounds of risk from a guy that decided to hit 4 balls from a tee that he had no ability to hit from. And one constant that's here day in and day out is I'm walking point. I'm walking point. They're assigning all the bad stuff that can happen if somebody misconnects. Every mistake to the right is assigned to me all day long. And there's no policing of this course. This is sand lot golf. When I talk about people hitting 5 balls, they do. They're out here alone, nobody's in front of them, nobody's behind them. They sit there and turn this place into a driving range, a practice range. They're hitting 5 or 6 balls and they don't have a clue what they're doing. All right? And I deal with the risk. And if I get a window broken or I have an altercation with one of these golfers, I'm the bad guy. The golfer goes into the shop and tells the police he demonizes me. I've been demonized by everybody on the golf course. The police are demonizing me in my report. When they write a report on me, I'm a little agitated, I'm a little passionate. I'm trying to talk to these people, to a policeman about the risk that I'm facing day in and day out, and it's going on deaf ears. This guy looks at me like, looks right through me. The policeman looks right through me and goes, you bought a house on a golf course. That's a civil matter between you and a golf course. No, it isn't. This is assault. Do you know anything about golf? And every policeman that comes out here to the golf course, not one of them play golf. My first question is, do you know anything about golf? And they go, I never played it. Don't know anything about it. So, here I've been playing 55 years, 60 years. I reckon, and the first thing they taught me, my father or the people that I played with, adults that I played with, the coaches, the people you went out with, the first thing they always taught you was never be downrange and in range. And if you are, watch the guy hit. Never be downrange and in range. And I see this all day long here. I see women walk up and wait for their husbands to hit back there. I see guys, they want to hit from the front, so they sit up here and they watch guys hit from the back. They're breaking every rule. Every rule has been broken as far as golf safety. This is a safety rule. What are you doing putting a friggin' tee box next to my private property? You've got dibs on my property. This is quasi-ownership of my property. We're going to land all our foul balls on your property. Have you ever gone to a baseball game where they never had a foul ball the whole game? No. Well, that's what I deal with daily here. There ain't a day that goes by that I don't get 2 or 3 foul balls going over that white stake into my yard. And that's on a slow day. On a day where you're selling 250 rounds of golf, you're going to have probably 350 shots hit from this assorted amount of tees. At least 100 more shots than you got golfers for the day. Why? Because they put the first one in the lake. Why? Because they don't know what they're doing. Why? Because they put one out of bounds. Now, you got the reward of 1 greens fee. You assigned a risk equal to 4 golfers. Or when a foursome shows up and they hit 6 shots between 4 golfers, I got an assigned risk. Every one of those, I was in every one of those shots. Every one of those shots I was into. And I'll tell you how I was into it. If you put a man out there 155 yards from the green, I'm about 120 yards away, or less, okay? So 120 yards to me, 155 to 175 to his target, and the first thing he does, all he sees is water. He's high up in the air, all he sees is water. His ego his mindset, his human factor is, I got to start early. I got to start early. This is going to be a big home run swing. I got to make it over the lake. I got a 160-yard shot over the lake here, and I got to make it. So he starts his hip early. Going to be a big home run swing. He starts his hip early, and he opens up his club head. All right? And we got a southwest wind coming from Fry's. Okay? Right into his face from the southwest. And this guy, this gorilla, who's going to hit a home run, crushes one, but the club face was open. He started his hip early, opened everything up. Big, wide, broad, crushed the ball, but he put a little tail on it and the wind got it. Next thing you know, I got a broken solar panel. I got a broken solar panel, right? Or a window, and I see it. And I see it. If I go to the clubhouse, the first thing they tell me is, you bought a house on a golf course. You accepted this risk when you bought here. Well, accepted risk is one thing, but it isn't an accident. When you put that tee box there day in and day out, it's no accident anymore that when I get hit. It's no accident that a ball goes in my yard. It's no accident that I'm getting broken windows. It's no accident there, because you know that you're putting golfers on there who aren't playing for score. They're playing for ooh and ah, right? They might have a scorecard they're trying to keep score of, but they're playing for the ooh and ah. I'm going to hit 5 balls from this tee box up here that's way up in the air over this lake. I'm going to hit 5 or 6 balls until I get the one. I want to see that mental picture. I want that mental picture. I'm going to sit here and hit them until I put one in the middle of the green. That's what I'm dealing with, the human factor. And every time that ball is struck, there's an algorithm of who's striking it, how much experience do they have, should they be playing from that tee box, have they ever played before, and what's their mental attitude once that ball leaves the course. Once it leaves the course, once it goes past that white stake 2 feet or 50 feet into my yard, is it their attitude that they're going to come out, they're going to walk into my yard and get the ball? Because that's what everybody tells them they can do. That's what they've been doing for 15 years. And if you go to the clubhouse and try to have them explain why this is happening, they go, well, it's all snowbirds. 75% of the place is snowbirds. So in the summer, they don't, it's summer and in the warm season, they figure nobody's there, so they walk on their property. What hurt is it? What hurt is it is they're trespassing. That's the way I see it. They're not paying my dues and they're not paying my taxes. Neither is the golf course. And the golf course gives me absolutely nothing for all this risk. They put that tee box there. If this was February or January, a beautiful, clear, sunny day in January or February, around the Super Bowl, when Super Bowl week is here or whatever, like I said, there'd be a steady, that cart path would be a parking lot all day of people waiting to hit. And every one of them brings their own game to the tee box. And the golf course is trusting every one of those golfers, no matter how much knowledge, skill, professionalism, whatever. Are they a novice, a pro, a beginner, or whatever? The golf course is trusting them to make the proper, prudent decision of where they're going to hit from. Now, for me to take a gorilla, a Jethro, who's never played before, you don't even take him to the range, and to get him with 3 of his buddies on that long tee that's 175 yards from the green, and to have him up there, and they hand him a club. And when he says, can I go to the range? No, we don't have time for the range. We've got to get out early. It's going to get hot early. Come on, get in the car. You'll pick it up. By the time we get to the back 9, you'll have it all figured out. You're an athlete. Come on. You don't need to go to the range. Come on. So the guy doesn't even, they've never taught him how to hold the club. all monkey see, monkey do. And they're getting a kick out of this guy because every once in a while he catches one. Like every 20th shot, they're going, Jesus, if that guy ever got this thing under control, he'd be awesome. Well, that's what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with out of control guys, and they're getting lessons on that tee. I can see one golfer that hadn't got a clue what he's doing giving a lesson to a brand new golfer, and both of them are gorillas. They don't have a clue. They're up there swinging wild, monkey see, monkey do. And, like I said, where's all that risk? All that missing to the right? 9 out of 10 golfers miss to the right. 9 out of 10 golfers do not know how to release a club into the ball. I never did. I played for, wow, I was 55, 60 years old before I ever learned how to release a club in the ball. Probably 55 before I learned how to, it was just a simple wrist turn, supinate the wrist, have the shaft a little bit forward of the club head, a downward blow. I played for 35 years before knowing that. Just like these people are doing. They don't know how to close the club face. They don't know how to square it up. And when you get a weak grip with an outside to inside swing, totally disconnected, a baseball swing, whatever, they got this flat baseball swing, everything's open, and they crush one. Well, why do I have to put up with 3 balls that potentially can take out a window, a child, me, a solar panel on a daily basis? This is assault. The reason I'm so passionate about it is I've been here for 15 years. You don't recognize the assault. I do. That's why I'm being so passionate. I'm trying to explain and get the wisdom down to you. This is day in, day out. I'm in every shot that's hit from that tee box. If the next group comes up and there are 3 young guys and not one of them knows the game, you can tell what their practice swing. They're not turning. It's an all-arm swing. They stand there. They never turn away from the ball. They get totally disconnected. They're trying to hit the ball with their hands instead of swinging. There's hitters and swingers. 9 out of 10 people that hit that tee box, or any of the tee box on this hole, are hitters. They're not swingers. Okay? Swingers let the ball get in the way of the club. They find a swing plane, they stick to that swing plane, they try to stay in that swing plane, they release the club into the ball, they keep all their weight forward on their forward leg, they drive down through the ball. The more you hit down on it, the more higher it's going to go in the air. Do you think any of the golfers that are playing now understand that concept? You guys haven't got a clue. And the thing of it is, should golfers in an arena like this is arena golf. I'm in every shot. I have to pay the price of every dumb golfer. Every time a golfer gets up there and makes a bad choice, he's punching over his weight class. He's back there and they hand him a 5-iron from 155 yards away, because that's what men do. You're on the men's tee. We're not going to let you play the silvers. You're not an old man. You're a young man. You're in your 20s. So here's a 5-iron, and I want you to hit it 170 yards or 155 yards to the green over there. Well, the guy's sitting there with a weak grip, club face totally open, takes a big baseball swing, crushes the ball right on the sweet spot, but the ball is now leaving a tremendous knockdown. Its weight, knockdown power is weight times speed. Weight times speed. Density times speed. But when that guy crushes that ball and he hits it a block straight right, which happens all the time, he has a brain fart coming down. Plus, he's never hit these balls. He don't even know what it feels like to hit a proper 5-iron. He's never had that feeling. Now they're trying to get him to get this feeling of hitting a 5-iron 155 yards to the green for the first time without a lesson or going to the range. And I'm sitting over here within range. I'm down range and in range of this circus. Do you understand the golf circus that's going on? This is sandlot golf. And now his buddies encourage him. They go, wow, one hits my house. And they go, wow, they start high-fiving. Wow, you caught one. You really hit one. And they put down 2 more and they go, hey, here, now that you're making good contact, and then they start correcting him. They give him another lesson. They give him another lesson when he hits the second ball. Turn it a little more, right? And he crushes another one. And another one goes in my yard. All right? Day in, day out. Day in, day out. This performance goes on, and there's no marshals. There's no supervision. This golf course is not out in the middle of the wilderness anymore. This golf course is draped with private property now. Investment. People invested in homes. They've invested in solar. They've invested in high efficiency windows. What for? To be assigned this risk day in, day out. Day in, day out to be assigned this risk of whoever comes up to that tee box. I have to pray that they show good prudence, judgment. That, for one thing, hopefully they know how to hit a golf ball. Hopefully they've taken a lesson. Hopefully they're not playing tee boxes because of who they are. They walk in, they're 24, 25. Where's the men's boxes? Oh, those are the gold. Okay, we'll play the gold all day. You got 4 young guys that never played before, and because the men's tee boxes are the gold, they're going to go out and try to hit a 170-yard shot across this body of water. And none of them have played before. They should be starting out at the women's tees. Learn how to par the hole first. These guys have never, you're looking at guys that have never parred the hole. Get them used to parring the hole. If you got beginner golfers, start them out on beginner days. Have beginner days where beginners show up and you play the women's tees. You know how frustrating, I've been out with golfers for the first time. I took a lady out one time to play golf with me. She was a waitress. I got along with her well. I thought we would get along well on the golf course. By the end of the day, she was trying to kill me. Because she was trying to play a game for the first time. She had no clue. She was completely wore out by the end of the day. She was sick of me telling her how to hit shots, where to stand, how to stand, and she was trying to play the ladies' tee, but she should have been executive tees. I should have had her at, like, we didn't have executive tees then, all right? I should have taken her up to executive tees and let her get used to putting the ball on the green the first shot. Let her get used to being on the green at the first shot and 2-putting. These new golfers never get that. You got a new golfer that comes back there, and his first day he's ever played golf, he's trying to hit a 160-yard shot across the lake to a green, and he expects to make par. There's no friggin' way that's ever going to happen. How are you going to hook somebody on golf? Now, if you bring him up here and you let him hit from the ladies' tee box, and you tell him you're not grip and rip, swing easy with this club. This is like a 9-iron. Just swing easy. You don't have to kill it. 75% swing, and the green is right there. All right. So no wild-ass swing, and we'll see if we can get a par on your first day. That type of golf training and logic doesn't exist. When anybody wants to learn how to play golf, the first thing you do, you put a driver in their hand, you take them out to the driving range. And it isn't about getting the ball in the hole. It isn't about, the first lesson should be chipping on the side of the green. That should be the first lesson in golf, or putting. Get used to putting the ball in the hole. The whole object of the game is putting the ball in the hole. as efficiently as possible with less strokes. All right. So this swinging wild, grip and rip golf, if you want to play it for the U's and ahs, you can play it, but obviously you're not keeping a very good score because all these balls you're hitting, what are you putting down? If you hit five balls from that tee, what's your score now? You drop 2, you hit 3. You drop 4, you hit 5. You drop 6, you hit 7. You drop 8, you hit 9, and the fourth ball. So are you? Did you add 9 to your score? Absolutely not. Right? This is what's happening. Golf is a cesspool now. It's all. There's no managing of it anymore. You should have marshals out here to have a jovial way of approaching a group and saying you're kind of stinking up the place. In so many words, you're playing slow. You got people backed up behind you. We've seen you. We've been watching you. You've hit like 3 or 4 houses so far. Why don't you guys move up? Do us all a favor and move up. All right. If that was to happen out here on a daily basis, you took that kind of management control. But that's what's needed here, because this is urban golf. This is high density urban, trying to mix with long and narrow grip and rip golf. It doesn't mix. It doesn't mix. I get very agitated. It's like I said, human chafing when I see a young golfer. Just because he paid $19 special for the afternoon, he's got a cart, a round of golf, and nobody's here, so he's going to be able to hit. If he's got 50 balls in his bag, he's going to be able to use all 50. He can get up on this tee box on the 3rd hole with nobody in front of him or behind him and hit as many balls as he wants. I deal with this day in and day out. And the thing of it is, I'm dealing with the risk. I'm dealing with the risk. Every ball struck off these tee boxes has the potential and a probability. There's a probability with every ball teed up and hit that I could be impacted. Either my window's broken, trespass, or my solar panels, or a guest or a child, a visiting child, could get hit by a golf ball. And nobody in the clubhouse is going to do anything about this. They won't do anything about it. It's like, we got you. This is catch-22. Even though you get absolutely nothing from us in reciprocity, we can assign this risk of missiles going into your yard day in and day out. That's a missile launch pad right there. And you got missile launchers that don't have a clue how to launch a missile. And I'm in the fallout area. They're using my lot for a foul ball territory. Now, these white stakes, if they were out 20 feet or 25 feet from my property line, it would be like a foul ball territory. It would be a foul ball territory on your property. All right? How many baseball games do you go to where the people are sitting on the third base and the first base line, and there's no place for the first base or the third base coach? They'd have to participate from the stands. They'd have to coach first and third base line from the front row of the stands if the stands were up to the baseline. That's what we have here. Every foul ball that's hit out of line doesn't go on your foul territory, up to the stands. You don't have any foul ball territory in your arena. I'm the foul ball territory. Do you understand? Now, what I was getting back to, these are the old pros. Like I said, these are the guys who've been playing for a while. If it stays cool this afternoon and we get the afternoon crowd out, the kids, the high school kids, and the younger crowd and the newbies, as soon as you see where all the carts are Sundance golf carts, they're Sundance Pro Shop golf carts, they're not custom golf carts anymore, that's when you start to worry. That's when you really start to worry, because you don't know where these people came from. Did they just get off a plane from Germany? Did they just get off a plane from Alberta, British Columbia, some international place? Or did they come from across town? Or from the Midwest? You put them in an urban environment like this. You put them in an urban golf environment with antiquated rules, with no rules. You're letting them make the decisions. You're letting the golfers, individual golfers who don't know a thing about the game, make the decisions on who they walk onto, what clubs they play, and what tee boxes they're going to play. On one of the tightest golf courses in the country. Right now, like I said, I'm sitting about 40 yards from that tee box and offline. Anybody that has a brain fart today is going to put a ball in my yard. That just hit a house. I'm going to go over and look for the golf ball now, but he just hit a house over here. Might have been my house or my neighbor's house. But you heard it. This is what happens day in, day out. Now the guy is probably going to get up and hit another shot. Okay, that's a perfect example of what can happen, will happen. I'm going to swing the camera around and show you. I think the ball hit 2 or 3 houses down. But he popped one up. He hit a foul ball. That was a foul ball. He popped one up in the air and hit it out of bounds. And about that house down there, one of those houses down there has a ball sitting on the patio. I checked my 2 lots as best I could. I didn't see a ball anywhere on my lots or my house. I have 2 houses, but the exact scenario that I just described a few minutes earlier just happened. A young man, strong as a bull, gets up there, has a brain fart, doesn't know what he's doing, and that's a routine miss for any golf course. For any golf course, for any guy trying to hit that shot, that's a routine miss. Okay? Routine. You're up there with a club in your hand, you know, you're used to playing, and it's very easy to lose one to the right. And that's exactly what he did. Now, that hit a house two houses down from me. It could have broke one of my solar panels or one of my neighbor's solar panels. Why? Because The golf shop insists that we have to make use of that corner as a tee box. It was designed that way 20 years ago or 18 years ago. We can't deter from that. We can't come up with a different place to put the tee box. All those people up there and that Mr. Lasham up on the hill, he has to deal with all of our risk. That was a miss. That was a routine foul ball. Okay? A routine foul ball that happens in every baseball game. We're probably going to get 50 of those routine foul balls a day out here today. Okay? And what happens when you get a routine foul ball? It goes into my yard, hits my house, or hits a neighbor's house. With complete impunity to the golf course. The golf course is off the hook. Whatever damage that ball does, whether it busts the window, busts the kid's head, or busts the solar panel, you're off the hook. And you keep putting this tee box here every day. Every day. This tee box with foul balls hitting my yard all day long, your accidents, you call them an accident, they're no accident. This is a planned event. This is malice against me. It's assault.